you ever experienced a giant in your life? Now, when I say a giant, I'm not just talking about a big person, but I'm talking about anything that seems insurmountable in your life. What is it that seems so big to you that you feel that you can't win the battle? Can it be in the area of relationship, or finances, or health issues, or mental problems, or children, job related? That feeling that you have that you know is not from God. That thing that you keep doing that is wrong. Or could it be the devil is trying to destroy you? So many of our young people are dealing with giants of drugs, giants of alcohol, giants of sexual impurity, sexual activities in that arena. Whatever your giant is, with God on your side, you can be a giant slayer. Help me preach to your neighbor. Tell your neighbor you can be a giant slayer. See, God is no respect of a person. The same he do for one in principle, he will do for another. So in principle, meaning that when you see in scripture that this same process is used and the same outcome is always the same, we can come to the conclusion that that's a principle. And when you work that principle, you guarantee the same result when you work those principles. So let's look in the story here. Let's look in David's story. And looking in David's story, we're going to see that he faced the giant, that he fought the giant, and he finished the giant. See that he's going to face the giant. We're going to see that not only he going to face the giant, we're going to see that he fought the giant, and then we're going to see that he finished the giant. What giant is it you dealing with? Now, when we look at this story right here, we're going to see in this story right here that Israel was faced with what looked like a giant situation. The Philistines come against them. Now, Israel was on one mountain, the Philistines on the other one, and the valley in the middle. And now this big man, tell your neighbor, big man. And now we're going to see in the lesson just how big he was. He would defy the armies of Israel by running out there and telling them, said, why do we need to fight war against all our peoples? Why can't just two of us fight? I want to challenge you to let any man that you want come out and fight against me. And if I win, y'all got to serve us. But if your man win, we going to serve you. And then just let two people, all these folks ain't got to die. Just let two people get it on, and the best win, and then the other be serving in, right? But now look what happened to them. Let me tell you something in this story. You must not meditate on how big or how strong that your problem looks. Because whatever you meditate on will be magnified to you, and it'll just get bigger, and it'll create fear, which is the opposite of faith, and God can't work. Tell your neighbor, whatever your mountain look like, don't be figuring, don't be meditating on it so much about it being so big. That's right. Okay? Now, in 1 Samuel 17th chapter, look what verse 4 say. Now, I'm going to read this out today's Living Translation. And for the purpose of that is so you won't have to try to figure out how tall and how heavy he was. It'll be in today's language. Now, in verse 4, it said, then Goliath, a Philistine, champion from Gath, came out of the Philistine rank to face the forces of Israel. He was a giant of a man, measuring over 9 feet tall. Now, you check him out. this guy right here, 9 feet tall, over 9 feet tall, okay? Okay? He wore a bronze helmet of 200 pounds coat of mail. Now, look how heavy that is. 200 pounds, a man weighing his uniform. Got something on it, 200 pounds, okay? Okay? So we can't deny that he had to have been a strong guy. He wore a bronze helmet of 200 pounds of coat of mail, bronze leg, had leggings on that were bronze, and carried a bronze javelin several inches thick. Now you know that's his weapon right there. Tipped with a 25-pound iron spearhead. Now notice, on this thing, a 25-pound spearhead was on the end of it, right? And his armor bearer walked ahead of him with a huge shield.